guys, Joebizz34 back again, and I was gonna save this review for next week until I got the new Sideshow Darth Vader, and I was gonna do all this in one shot, but I don't know, I couldn't wait, and I have a lot to show because I have a lot of Star Wars customs that I still need to show and stuff that I never really got around to and other things. So I figure I'm going to do it in two separate vids because the Sideshow Vader is going to be really cool to review, and there's going to be a lot of stuff with him. So I don't want to take up too much time on doing other stuff. There will be some other stuff. I have the X-Wing Luke, the Hoth X-Wing Luke that I keep teasing I was going to show in more detail, and I'll get to that. You know, I revised that greatly since I showed it a long time ago. And I did show it quickly in a vid, but I'm going to really get in detail with it. And then I have a Greedo that I picked up from Sideshow. I'll review that. I have a custom Tusken Raider I'm working on. You know, there's a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm going to show you some things in this vid, and you know, this will be kind of like part one. And then the Darth Vader review that I'm going to do once I receive him next week, I'll show the rest of the stuff in that one. This is an afterthought. I picked this little guy up at Matt's store in Unmasked Collectibles. I've always mentioned that, and again, I'll flash his information on the screen, but I probably would sound like a broken record at this point, but you know the deal with him and how I like dealing with him. And this is not one I pre-ordered through him. Figure's been out, so you guys have probably seen reviews of this guy already. And he's small, but he comes with a big punch. We all know he's the Jedi Master Yoda. And there's been other figures of him, and he was released a little bit ago. This is not brand new, but Matt had one in the store, and when I went there to pick up, it was either, I think it was Amazing Spider-Man that I just did the review for. I happened to see this little guy in the case, and I asked him about it, and he showed me the whole setup, and I had seen pictures, but I wasn't really interested in him because it looked more like Phantom Menace Yoda or prequel Yoda than original. But when I saw how cool he actually looked in the store, and he had him displayed like in an action pose with holding a lightsaber, I was like, wow, he's really cool, and he's really articulated. He's a little loose, but like I think it's kind of intentional, so you can pose him really easy, and he's meant so that he could sit. Like if you look at the box behind him here, you could see that he's got his little, there's the picture, I'll raise the camera up a little bit. So he's sitting in his little chair there. So they give you a lot of good stuff with this. Now I'm trying something new with this vid to try to appease some people that watch my vids. You know, I know that a lot of times I hold the camera and it's shaky, and that's because I'm trying to film and I'm trying to manipulate all in one shot. So I'm trying to correct that and maybe have a smoother video where as I'm talking, you could see the product without the camera moving all over the place, and you know, just to let people know that I am trying to improve. And I appreciate the feedback. You know, I had someone that actually gave me very positive feedback, but said, you know, he suggested that maybe I try to be less shaky, and he's absolutely right, and it's been something I've been thinking about for a while. So I have the camera propped, and as you can see now, because of that, I have use of both hands, which sometimes I have trouble doing stuff with or showing because I'm trying to do it with one hand. So anyway, I'm going to rotate the camera that way. There's his little Phantom Menace or Jedi Council seat that he always sits in. And like I said, he's small, but he's, you know, proportioned properly, and you can easily just sit him in the chair. See, I'm going to lift the camera up so you can see. How cool is that, right? And you could display him with his little, you know, his little cane there if you want to display, have him holding it there in his chair. And that's ultra cool. Very, very cool. And the other thing that I found impressive is that for the price, I mean, this is not very expensive for what you get. I mean, you get desk space, and then you get this other cool base of his where he's floating. Obviously, it's part of his stand. I am holding the camera now because I want to get it a little higher, but I'll show you really quick when you sit him here. See? So, you know, you could pose him to sit there, and you know, I'm just showing you for an example, but that's kind of cool. So he looks like he's kind of floating. And he comes with a lot of, like, I'll show you the box really quick. You know, he comes with a lot of extra hands with different poses. He comes with his, you know, lit lightsaber and, of course, his unlit, just the hilt right there. And he comes with extra feet. Some that are kind of like more curled up and then flat feet. So I have the flat feet on him just so he can stand better and stuff. And like I said, he's a little loose in the joints. And you can pretty much manipulate anything. You can bend his legs like so. You can bend. He's very easily maneuverable. Now, the one thing I did notice, he comes with an alternate head sculpt as well, which is what I really thought was cool. And the second head sculpt is more of a, like, I'm going to kick your butt now with my lightsaber look, as you can see here. I want to make sure the lighting is good, so I'm going to pick the camera up for a minute so you can see. All right? And it's got more of like a, he's kind of, you know, PO'd. And this is more of his neutral look, and I kind of put that one on him, and I like that a little more because this kind of reminds me more of his older, you know, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi look. He looked a little more peaceful, a little more subdued. This, to me, screams a little more Clone Wars and prequel trilogy. But they're both excellent sculpts. As you can see, the nice paintwork on the hair on the back. The robe and the clothing is cool. His little cane is very, very detailed. So I am very impressed with the figure. And for the price point, I said, what the heck? You can see he stands, like I said, he is a little loose. And the one thing I will say is if you do have this figure, or if you do get it because of watching this vid, or at some point you feel like picking it up, I will say that getting the head off, the arms, the hands and the feet are easily interchangeable. But the head gave me a little bit of a problem. This was the head that actually was on the figure. Now, I don't know if Matt had swapped it out in the store for his display, or if it by default comes with this head on, but I wanted to switch it. So this is the one that was on when I bought him, and popping him off took a little effort. So you might want to heat it up a little bit with a hair dryer. It didn't break, or there's nothing to worry about. And obviously, to get to the head, it's very easy. There's a little Velcro thing right here on his suit. So if you undo that, you can kind of see where his where his neck joint is. The lighting is a little bad right now, see, but you can see. So that's how you can kind of see what you're doing when it comes time to swap the head. There is a wire in his robe too, which is cool, so that you can kind of like manipulate the robe and pose the robe. There is an underwire in it, see? And this is definitely an improvement from Yoda's in the past. Now I'm going to show you something here. This is an older Hasbro Yoda that I have had, and I've showed this Yoda before. And I have to say, for Hasbro, and for the time that this thing was made with the old figures that like are very inferior now to today's standard, this Yoda is pretty cool. The robe is a little less to be desired. I mean, it's got the stupid fake little tears and stuff that I'm going to at some point customize and cut off. But he's got his little cane there. I mean, obviously the new cane, as you can see, is a lot more better and a lot more detailed. But I also customized this a bit. I did a little bit of a repaint, okay, and I added real white hair to the sides that you could see. And I think I stole it from like a stuffed animal or something. I think I cut it off at the time and just put it on both sides of his ears, see? And I'm very happy with this Yoda. So this is the Hasbro Yoda from yesteryear. But as you can see, they've come a long way, and Sideshow has really improved. I'm going to put them right next to each other there. See, look at that. And so, you know, Yoda, the new Yoda's got definitely a better paint job, a deeper green. Like I said, he stands slightly taller. I mean, he's not as hunched, but you can hunch him if you want. The clothing is obviously superior. So it's cool. And like I said, I love these. You kind of, in a sense, get like, it's almost like a DX set for a very low price, other than the fact that, you know, he doesn't have purrs, and the Sideshow doesn't do that. But, you know, to get this display with a stand, and then two head sculpts, two lightsabers, one lit, one unlit, extra hands and feet, you know, it's for the money. I mean, this is not, I mean, I don't know in the secondary market right now. I mean, you know, Matt still had one in the store, and he's not going to price gouge, or, you know, he's not selling on eBay or anything like that. So, I don't know exactly the price point of when this figure was released, but I think it's really cool. So that's the Sideshow 1/6 Yoda Jedi Master version. There's the box. And if you open it up, there's a little history on him inside, which is cool. So you got like that window display that you can open it and see him in the package. And it's collector friendly. You could take it in and out of the package without ruining anything. And that's that. So now I want to move on to something else. I'm going to show you some Medicom Jawas, and then I'm going to show you some custom Boba Fetts that I've worked on that I've done a while ago but never showed on film. I showed pictures of them, but not on film. So I'll be back in a minute. Camera's about to run out anyway, and we'll get into some of that other stuff since I'm in that Star Wars zone. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and as you can see in front of you now is some Medicom vinyl series VC Jawa figures. Now, they're not like your traditional 1/6 scale figures, and they're really cool. I ended up picking a couple of one of these up for a deal, secondhand, on a guy that was selling them on Sideshow Freaks, and they're not posable from like the waist down. You know, they're not very posable. You can basically have them point a gun like so. Okay, you know, and it fell out. And in the other hand, you know, you have another hand there to kind of like pen back. So I got the one guy here that's got like the little, you know, controller there that keeps the droids, you know, when they have the those restricting bolts on their body. like when 3PO and R2-D2 had that, and they pressed that button to stop them in their tracks. And unlike the Hasbro versions, their eyes do not illuminate or light up. But the paint job is pretty cool, where the eyes are kind of reflective, so they do kind of pick up light from the environment. And because of that, see, they kind of do give off a glow, a natural glow, even though they're not, you know, see, it kind of looks like it's lit up, even though, so that's pretty cool. So like I said, they both come with like one of those things to hold, and then a weapon, their typical infamous guns. Okay, so I'm going to put this camera down for a second, and I'm going to put it back in his hand. This one here, the arms do pop out of the body, so you have to kind of like, sometimes if you move it and it pops out, you just pop it right back in. And here's another funky thing about this figure, which is kind of cool, which I'll show you once I get him. Well, you know what? Yeah, I'll put the gun back in after I'm done, because I don't feel like wasting time. But look at this. Look at the hood. It comes right off. So look at that. How cool is that? You can kind of just see right underneath there. So the hood is like a separate like piece that comes right off. So, but when you put it on, it works really well. And like I said, if you pose them with the droids, you know, like C-3PO and R2-D2, you know, they have a really cool look. Now, just to show you as a comparison, see if you adjust the hood just right, you can show the eyes enough where you see how the eyes kind of illuminate. And like I said, they're more like little mini statues. Like I said, the arms move up and down. I gotta say, for the price that I paid for these being secondhand and used, I got a good deal for the both of them. I bought them and then 2 Hasbro ones. I had a Hasbro one, and I picked up like another Hasbro, a couple Hasbros and these guys, so I'll have like a bunch of Jawas in my display case, you know. And I got a good deal on them considering, but to be honest with you, you know, I think I've seen on eBay some of the price points on some of these guys are really high. And it is Medicom, and they are rare at this point, I guess. They're not, you know, they're old. But if you can get a deal on one for like maybe 50 bucks or less, or, you know, maybe like, as long as it's under like 100 for sure, you know, and you want to pick one of these up, they're really cool. Now, in comparison, here's the Hasbro one. And this is an older one. You know, obviously they were out. Now you can see they're slightly different, but if you display them right, you know, you can kind of blend them in, you know, and they go well together. I mean, it's noticeable that it's different, but not completely noticeable. And like I said, the one advantage the Hasbro one always have is right here, the light up eyes. See, you push the button in the back and the eyes light up. Now, if you like these you could still get a deal on. I mean, they're Hasbro and they're old, so you could find them on eBay for really good prices, maybe like 20 bucks or less in some cases. So, this is definitely a good alternative. It's the only 2 Jawa alternatives you got right now. It's either this one or these Medicom ones. So, you know, if you can, you know, without paying an arm and a leg, if you get your hands on maybe some of both of them, you know, you can build yourself up a little Jawa army, which is pretty cool. That's exactly what I have. So in total, I think I have 5 Jawas. I have like 3 of these guys and then these 2 guys. But these guys really display nicely. They have a nicer look to them, nicer profile. The hood maybe is a little too big, but you can futz with it and mess with it a little bit. So there's the Jawas, and once I'm done filming, I will put the gun back in his hand. And as you see here, I have him holding the one that there's that little device there, the remote control to stop the droids. That actually belongs to this dude, but I have it in his hand. So this way you can kind of mix and match. And like I said, when you put them together like that, you know, they kind of blend well. So there you go. So there's the Yoda, there's the Jawas, there's the Hasbro Yoda, and there's some bananas back there I might eat if I get hungry. Okay, now I'll be back in 1 second. I'm going to set up the Boba Fetts I'm going to show, and then we're going to call it a day. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back once again. Now here are my custom Bobas. Now they're a little taller, so for right now I am going to hold the camera. So you know, I'm sorry for any advanced shakiness I may cause, but I'll try to keep it more still. As you can see, I have 2 of them, and they're both considered what you'd call Medimixes. Basically, the base of the figure, you know, for the most part, I would say they're probably more Medicom, but they are both on Hot Toy bodies. Now, he looks taller because he's on the light-up base that the Sideshow Boba came with that I had originally, and he is on the exclusive stand that comes with the exclusive version of the Sideshow Boba. And originally what happened was I had the Sideshow Boba Fett, and I wasn't completely happy with him. As everybody knows, there was problems with the boxy chest, and there was just, you know, some issues with the color or whatever. So I ended up finding this guy. Somebody was selling him for not too bad of a price. It wasn't too ridiculous, and it was a Medimix. So basically, the helmet and the chest, I guess the chest armor and the vest that he's wearing and the shoulder blades are all Medicom. And then from the down part, this is Medicom actually here. This belt and here. But this is, I believe this is also Medicom, yeah. So it's mainly Medicom, except for the shoulder, the shins right here. Not shins, what you call it, the forearm blades and the gloves and the jumpsuit that he's wearing underneath and the rifle and the cape with the rocket is Sideshow, okay? And I believe, and the boots are Sideshow down here. So basically, the tools and everything else in the bodysuit is Sideshow. So it is a mix, and what I have done, what he has done, is he built it up on a Hot Toys Slim body, okay? So he's not on the original Sideshow or Medicom body, he's on a Hot Toys body. So with overall, and the ribbon here that hangs, obviously is Medicom, and because that was one complaint of the Sideshow one, that the Wookiee braids were too short. So this is a really cool custom. Now what I went and did, and I don't know, I'm going to move the light here so you can see, I went in and I weathered it, and I dusted it up, and I rusted it up, and I added a lot of weathering. And yeah, I know he was cleaner looking in Empire, but I don't care. I went for like creative license, whatever you want to call it, and I just went a little nuts. And I saw others do it, you know, other artists had a good take on it. So I weathered up the gun, I weathered up I darkened the jumpsuit and gave it a blue tint with some blue paint washes, and then weathered the jumpsuit with some dirty stains and stuff. You could see some weathering on the pocket area and the shin area, the shoes and everything. And he came out really cool, you know, look at that. Cool, cool, cool. So I'm putting some extra light on it from my cell phone so you can kind of get an idea. It's a little dark here, but so there you go. And I repainted some of the helmet to kind of give it more of a battle damaged, weathered look. Now this guy, I actually then put together. I took notes from this one, and I said, well, you know what? I have a Return of the Jedi Medicom one as well, and let me modify that one. So I did the same thing. I took the armor off the Medicom Return of the Jedi Boba, put it on a Hot Toy Slim. And then I added Sideshow parts. I think these feet are actually the Medicom ones. Hands are Sideshow. The armor and everything else, and you know, obviously this belt here is Medicom. The pockets Medicom. Everything is Medicom from the armor. The jumpsuit is Sideshow. The weapon is Sideshow. And like I said, the helmet is Medicom, and the rocket is Medicom. Okay, and obviously the exclusive stand is Sideshow, and the body is a Hot Toys Slim. And I weathered the heck out of this one too, as you can see. Let me see if I can add some light to that too. So I really went nuts with the weathering a little bit and kind of really made it look, you know, used and damaged and dirty. All that good stuff. And I think I did a good job. And I got a lot of positive feedback on this when I posted these on the forums. I got him in a different pose just because I want him to kind of look a little different than this guy. So they're both kind of battle damage, and like I said, I know Empire, he looks a little more worn and battle damaged than, you know, the way he actually did in Empire, but I'm okay with that. I think it's more interesting, and like other artists have said, other customizers, you know, it adds a sense of realism to the figure when he's weathered and dirty, I think, you know, as opposed to, you know, being clean and more toy or dollish like. Now, the cool thing is that I didn't have the exclusive Sideshow Boba, so I needed another one of these stands. So when I ended up buying this Medimix one off the guy, I got an extra stand that I then gave to Boss, because I still don't understand why Boss didn't come with one. So now I have my Bounty Hunter lineup forming with all having the lighting bases, IG-88, Boss, and this guy. But he had the exclusive, so he included this exclusive stand when he sold me the Medimix. So then I was able to get this stand to put this guy on. So there you go. So a little imagination, a little customizing, a little kit bashing, and there you go. I got two really cool, awesome Bobas, and I'm happy. I don't need to go any further with the Boba Fett situation. You know, at this time, I have one from each movie, and I am good. And unless they resurrect him in the new Disney movies, This is probably the best 2 looks, you know, you'll ever have of him, other than the white version they're coming out with, which I think the concept is cool, but I have no interest in the white version since that's really just a proto and it was just a 5-minute, you know, ad that showed him. And I think he's really cool, and for some nostalgic fans, I think, you know, it's a cool figure to have, but I'm saving my money for something else. Namely, Vader. So when Vader comes next week, I'm going to do another review, and I'm going to have more customs to show. Star Wars, Greedo, Biker Scout, a custom Snowtrooper I did, mainly out of Hasbro parts, and then, like I said, the newly revamped, once again, Snow Speeder, X-Wing, whatever you want to call it, Hoth Luke version, that I'll show next week when I show Vader. And I have a Hurricane Vader that I've shown before with the cathode lightsaber, and I'm going to have him side by side so we can compare the height and compare the looks and everything to the new Sideshow Vader. I'm very excited to review that one. I think he's going to look awesome. So anyway, there you go. There's my custom reworked Bobas. There is the Sideshow Yoda. There we go. Try to zoom in there. See that? You gotta love this. You gotta get it just right. There we go. All right. There's the older custom reworked Hasbro Yoda to compare with, and I have my Medicom Jawas that I showed you. So that's it for today, guys. Till next time. Peace out.